So, sir, what is your job?
I am a drowning expert, and I specialize in the field of figuring out what leads to people drowning and the specific cause of a drowning, depending on how much water is either in the lungs at the death or before the death.
So, sorry again. What are the roles of the drowning expert?
Um, the roles is to identify a body of a victim that has been deemed to that has been deemed that they have been killed or they have died by the death of water, and it is our job to figure out if it was either a suicide or if it was a intentional killing using water by or it was an intentional killing by them drowning, and we figure out which cause of it is depending on the amount of water in their lungs or just the status of their body that has been caused by the water.
And how long have you been a drowning expert?
um I've been a drowning
Hey,
expert
Adam.
for 5 years.
You in the middle of something, Adam?
5 years, you said?
Yes.
Would you call yourself a specialist?
Yes.
And why are you here today with your expert opinion?
Because I was called on and for the death of Miss Frederick, and I was given the chance to examine her body on the 17th of 1976.
And what month was that? November
November, yes.
1976. And who called you in?
Um, I was called in by the police.
Why do you think Miss Reddick died?
Um, I I think she died, but the evidence on the scene proves that she didn't die to a drowning, because after I got to the scene the day after her death, I was able to examine her body, and I came to the conclusion that she didn't die to drowning, because there's a phenomenon that occurs in only 10% of cases of drowning, where the water can only drown someone if it is deep water, and the death by drowning can only occur without the aspiration of water in the lungs. And from what I see here, that there were no bruises on her body that indicate that someone drowned her, or any signs that she was struggling and she was drowned.
Sorry, just 1 second. I just gotta write these down. So, what are the symptoms of a person who is drowned?
Uh, the symptoms, well, depending on what type of drowning it is, drowning with no lungs in the water is also called dry drowning, and it is when water never reaches the lungs. Instead, breathing in water causes the vocal cords to spasm, and they close up and shut off the airways, making it harder to breathe. And you would notice that you notice the signs right away. If it didn't just happen out of the blue days later.
Okay.
There was also secondary drowning, where it is described as a drowning complication when water gets into the lungs and it irritates the lungs and the lungs lining, and the fluid can build up, causing a condition called edema, uh, where you would notice that the person is having trouble breathing right away, and it might get worse in the 24 hours. And both events are extremely rare, and those events only make up 1 to 2% of drowning. And to go back on the term that I used earlier, the pulmonary edema is a condition caused by excess fluid in the lungs, and this fluid collects numerous amount of air sacs in the lungs, making it difficult to breathe. And in most cases, it causes heart problems, and the fluid can accumulate for other reasons as well. But exposure to toxins and a medication and trauma in the chest wall is uh, high reasons as to how that can also occur.
Okay, and did you read the case or do you know anything about it?
I've read. I was caught up with the case, and on my take of it, I assumed that the Mr. Reddick has definitely something to do with her death, because when I was at the scene, it didn't seem from the evidence I was given and from the evidence that I see that there was no way she died of a drowning.
When did you read it? Like the case?
I uh, I I was notified of the case of a week before, or not a week before, the day of the death.
Was there anything in the bathwater that concerned you?
Uh, no, there was nothing that concerned.
Did you analyze the bathwater?
No, I didn't analyze the bathwater.
Is there anything else that you feel is important to the case?
I feel like the fact that there was no bruises on the deceased, that uh, has something to play into it. Uh, there is seeing that there was no bruises, meaning that she wasn't drowned. Someone didn't forcefully drown her. So there has to be some other way that she died.
Could she have drowned from an electrocution?
Um, could have been possible because there wasn't any water in her lungs, meaning that it could have been a possibility that uh, electrical appliance might have tipped over into the tub or have been in contact with the tub, and Miss Reddick might have fallen in or might have been pushed in.
Okay. Thank you very much, drowning expert. That will be all for today.
Thank you. Okay.